Tracker. Go, Fat Tracker, go, go, go.
The Kelpie Fat Track Pod, brought to you by Kelpie, affordable race products designed to help you stay on track. Now onto the episode.
So here we are, part 2 of the James Davies interview at the Victorian State Motorcycle Complex at the Vic Titles 2022. Fantastic chatting with James. Obviously, I won't bang on too much. I think we'll just get straight into the second part. So let's enjoy.
Look, we'll just jump straight into like what it is. I had my accident in I think it was 2018. I had it. I broke vertebrae through my neck down to my spine, and I actually fractured the vertebrae that holds your skull on. That was the big problem.
Yeah.
And I had bleeding and bruising on my brain and all that. I was in a really bad way with it, and basically after that, I tried to come back racing, and it just never happened. I could never be happy I'll be brutally honest with it. Like I cried myself to sleep sometimes. It was really bad, and it was mainly for the fact that every time I got back on the bike, I couldn't do what I knew I could do because I always had that tick in the back of my head saying,
holding you back.
I go to the start line. Oh, is this guy going to take me out, or how am I going to fall in the dog leg? You know what I mean?
Yeah, thinking about all the things.
That could go wrong. When you could be just thinking about, how good is it? I'm riding dirt bike on the weekend. You know, I've got heaps of mates here. You know, I could go have a few beers at the pub after this. You know, So that's the thing that Ren and I have both, helped. I feel like we've really helped each other.
100%.
Probably people will laugh at this. They really will. But it's what we've helped each other through.
Yeah.
But I got to like that really sour patch point where I hated motorcycles. I hated it. I didn't want to borrow them. I didn't really open up to anyone about it because, as they say, it ain't weak to speak, but you feel bloody weak talking about that sort of stuff. So I didn't do anything about it. I got really bad for a while, and then I finally opened up to Claire, and she helped me through it. And then I think I opened up to my main sponsor. I just was straight out, man, I can't do this. Like it's eating me alive every day. Like I was that bad. I was searching myself up on Google just to like relieve that, okay, I want to straight. I was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was a really tough time. And and then when I found out Brendan was kind of not going through that same kind of thing with his crash, it was quite good to just bounce off someone that had that same.
Yeah,
that same mindset.
And I think just even like sometimes it's not even just a crash, but sometimes like I used to psych myself out. I'd get the program for a title meeting, I'd look who's in the heat, and
I used to do that all the time.
I can beat that person. So then, I can't beat that person, so I'm going to finish here.
Yeah,
and then if I get a start, and then someone's coming up the inside, I'm like, I almost let them pass.
Yeah, it just.
I was like, oh, that person's quicker than me, so that, and then I just rather than just actually like attacking and
that's right,
racing the race, you just sort of psych
yourself. So, and that's I was at home. Like, I did. Like always a whole season of dirt track up there. I did the first race, pulled out of the rest of the meeting because I mentally couldn't allow myself to do it.
Yeah.
And that's when I just kind of opened up about it. And the best thing I ever did was, shout out to George Ward. He bought Pioneer Park Speedway, and he kind of allowed me to just
easy.
What I wanted to do was ride my speedway bike, but for fun. Just if it's there, ride it. And that's what he allowed me to do. And that's where I've felt confident enough to come down here and just have fun. So opening up that whole perspective of it, of unlocking that negative side of my brain and blocking it out, I was able to just start riding for fun. And
it just takes time too. Like you need to do just that. You need to go to meetings and like sort of practice it. It doesn't happen overnight. Like you go to a meeting and some bad thoughts might creep in or whatever, but then you just try again the next one and it gets a little bit less.
The best thing I did for that speed, I asked Dad to come up, and I just said to him, I was like, look, I'm not trying to make a career anymore. I just want to have fun. And he was full supportive of it, and that was the best thing, having his support. Like my first race, I was terrible, and he come in and he was like, good work. Like that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was so good.
And
having his support for that, that's what's made me kind of block everything out and say, you can ride for fun. Who cares?
And you see that a lot, and you can almost see the writing on the wall with you see some parents and their kids, and the kid will have a bad day. So I remember there was this kid when I was on 60s, there was this kid that was smoking everyone. And like by the length of the straight sort of thing, and he was next to me on the start line, and his dad was yelling at him, saying he could go faster. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
man?
See, that's a toxic environment right there. Like what we've actually, Brendan and I, had spoken about before this podcast. I started listening to a few other podcasts. Like I've listened to yours, Darcy. I've listened to most of them, actually, all yours pretty much. And the other podcasts I've just learned about like that. That's where that mental health thing, especially with the junior kids coming up, you can't create a toxic environment for your son where he goes up to the start line. Okay, if I don't go fast, Dad's going to yell at me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's
right,
bullshit. Like,
It's
go
just
out
going to
there.
make him. It's just going to make him.
The kid,
resent
the kid
you
is
and not want to do
the
it.
kid is surrounded by his friends. Like that's where they make their good friends at dirt track, especially. Like they go around, they're pushing each other down the hill.
Yeah,
and
they
stuff.
love
That's
it.
awesome. But then if they lose a race, they're crying because their dad's not happy with the race.
Yeah,
Like,
And
and
I was
I'm
like,
not,
my
I'm
dad
not
was
saying
never
that
like that.
every dad does that because if your dad gets fired up, he just wants the best for you. But,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that that firing up bit can really put a mental health a toxic environment with your mechanic who's your dad as well.
Yeah.
Me and Dad didn't have that kind of environment because if Dad kind of said come on have a crack, he meant it because he knows I can do it.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of these kids like that, I've seen dads yell at their kid that they won by half. But what more do you want?
Yeah, and
Doing
it's like
that-
it's kids on 60s. It's not like it's yelling at your
Doing that
kid
sort,
on a
doing that
250,
sort of
like-
stuff's just create a toxic environment for your kid.
In saying that too, it shouldn't happen with any of them.
No, exactly
Yeah.
right.
So-
like it's
so,
you know,
it's
it's,
like
it's still meant to be fun.
Like I make the joke to everyone like when me, Claire, and I have a kid, I'm going to put on a treadmill with a breathing apparatus, get it ready for Loretta Lynn before it's 6. I would never do that. Like
No. Yeah.
whatever.
But yeah, some of them. I mean, you can just tell that some of them are just living vicariously through their kid.
and that's where like another podcast I listened to from Jason Stewart actually with Sedgy's Chinwag. He was having to talk about kids. This is what I spoke to you about the other day. Every time a lot of kids these days, every time they get on the bike, they're riding either to race for a trophy or to practice to get a trophy. And by doing that, as Jason said, they created a toxic environment inside the race team pretty much. And the kid has no enjoyment riding the bike because every time they get on the bike, they have to just
There's like a purpose.
grind. They
for
have
it.
to grind,
rather than just
Where
riding. Just
if
for
you
riding.
just send your kid out in the bush with you and just ride instead of practicing, like you'll probably become a better rider. You'll have that closer bondship with your son, stuff like that.
Yeah, everything.
And I'm not saying it's all dads out there. It could be just it's just the way it unfolds. But yeah, that's it's opened up a big can of worms for me with the mental health thing, and that's why I was kind of keen to do a podcast just to put it out there, because you do see it a lot with kids. Like they hate it,
and it's one of those things. Like if you're struggling with something, there's a very good chance that other people are as well.
Yeah.
So you sort of then if you know other people are going through the same thing, it helps them kind of get it out and know, I'll listen to that or I'll go talk to this person. And then it just helps.
Well,
them.
the worst thing is holding it in. So if you are in that situation as a young person, then first thing, tell your dad makes you feel that way.
Yeah.
So hey, listen, I know
lay
you
off a
love
bit.
me.
Yeah. But see, a lot of people they're scared of their dad.
Of course,
They've already created that toxic environment.
Yeah.
Like I didn't open up to my dad about it, but I opened up to the next closest person that supported me as much as Dad did, which was my sponsor Paul.
Yeah.
And I get a call from him every now and then. After every meeting, he asks me, "How's your headspace? How you feeling? Your head all good?"
Yeah.
So it's really good to have people like that can help you through those things.
Yeah, it helps you if you know you've got that support. Like I remember when this whole MTR thing first started, I was racing was so much more fun for me because you'd come in from a race and then you sort of, you had like that team of people to debrief with and stuff like that. And it's sort of, it helps make it fun even without you needing to try and make it. Like you don't need to.
So that fun bit. So as I said, I try to do a bit of coaching. I've started doing a bit of coaching. The one thing I've tried to put out to the kids that I do help is riding your motorbike's fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay?
Right.
Like if you don't want to, if it's not fun, there's no point doing it.
Yeah.
Like I was coaching speedway with a kid, like 4 kids, and doing 1 by 1, and the kid come out and he just was off. He felt he was off, and I pulled him up. I was like, "You're all good, man. Like you're not stressing. You're all good." He's like, "No, I'm all good." Why? I was like, "Oh, you just look down. Like if you don't want to ride, man, don't feel any pressure to ride. Doesn't bother me. Like I'm just here to make you try and help you become a better rider."
Yeah.
And I think the kids that have that, they have that kind of feedback. They're like, "Oh, okay, I'll just go ride."
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's all. You just got to go ride.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't need to be a purpose all the time.
No, that's right. And that's the main reason I wanted to jump on and just put it out there that in racing, there's a lot more to life than racing every single weekend. Like I wouldn't take anything of my career back, but because of it, I missed out on a lot of friends and going out. Not that I was interested in that stuff, but I missed out on that little bit. But as I said, I wouldn't take it back because I had the best time of my life doing what I did. So, yeah.
But it's definitely something that's probably not spoken about enough. But the people I've sort of spoken to about it, they kind of all understand it. And
Yeah,
everyone you speak to about, no one, I've never said it to anyone and then been like, oh, just get over it sort of thing. So everyone you speak to is always
that's the
supportive.
reason you're scared to open up, because you get that vibe of people there to harden up.
Yeah,
Harden
exactly.
up.
Yeah.
And it's not that's
If
that's
it was
that's
that
why
easy.
that's why people don't open up, unfortunately.
exactly.
So like if you need help, talk to someone. It's the best way to do it. It's like me and
doesn't
Brett,
even need to be a solution. You just need to get it out.
we can vouch for it. The best thing we've done is open up about it, and so
definitely help.
well, that's why I'm here, because I opened up about it and I felt comfortable and happy riding again.
And it help get you back riding.
Help get me back riding. So, but like everything else is it's a good lifestyle to have. But it's something you got to think about.
So when you got injured and that was a pretty severe injury.
It was, yeah.
How long were you actually off the bike? Because I reckon that actually plays a part in the mental side of things as well. Because you start, well, for me, when I did my hand the first time, I was, I think, 5 months or something. And, it was originally 5 weeks and then all the shit afterwards. But just the more I thought about getting back on the racetrack, getting on the bike, the more anxious I was getting. I started having little stories going on in my head. And
So
the first meeting here, I shit in my pants. I did the practice, and all that shit just sort of went away.
when I had it, I went full. I was just 100% committed to coming back, and I still wanted it. I was hungry. I wanted it. And I trained because I couldn't work. Doctors wouldn't allow me to work. All I did was go. I went to the gym 3 times a week. 3 times a day. Sorry, not a week. That's week.
I was like, that's not that impressive.
So I went 3 times a day because I couldn't work, but I could go to the gym. So but I only went to the gym for like half an hour or 45 minutes. But every time I went there, I was full pedal to the metal, working something different. And I trained with Jesse as much as I could, because Jesse plays. He did play top level footy. But I wanted it more than ever, and I got there, got back on the bike, had my first practice, went really well. Then I went to Milford, and I shattered the bone in my foot, and that was worse than my other injury because I couldn't do anything because I had a foot injury.
Yeah.
And after that, that's when I kind of just went on that downward. I was done. I was over it. I didn't really open. I never really announced my retirement kind of thing, because I don't feel the need to do that. I'm not a professional rider, I didn't feel the need to do that. But it was a tough pill to swallow I think for both Dad and I. It was a very tough pill to swallow that I was done. And it was a kind of a thing. I never really was done. I needed that break. I needed a long time to think about it, and it was a long time. It was like 5 or 6 years. And then now it just kind of started slowly poking back into it. And I've never felt better on the bike, to be honest. I wish I was fitter, but I'm not dedicating my life to it. I want to do it for fun. As dumb as it sounds, I just don't have interest in racing. I have interest in riding my bike. Whether that be on race days or practice days, I want to ride my bike.
Riding, not fast either way.
That was but I definitely, what you said, that's anxious and all that. I was very anxious till I did it, and that whole after when I recently had my first ride back, I was crazy shitting myself. I was like, I
remember you messaged me. You were nervous.
I was like, man, I don't even know if I'm going to get on the bike, know what to do. And my first ride was very slow, but I was like, I know how to do it. So next ride, I just went out there, did a start, and was just like, and just.
The speedway, you got to do a start. If you roll into it, it's not the same.
So I just went for it. I was like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not fit, but I can do it. And that was the best thing. The best thing was that because I doubted myself. I'm a terrible. I doubt myself in everything I do. Everything. I'm like, I can't do that. And the best thing I did was I doubt myself. I went out there and I completely proved my own brain right. I was like, I can do it. Sucked in. So, but I think that was a big thing as well. Just
getting it done.
Just that second heat. Second time I went out, I just do a start 4 laps. Just because once you pull it on the speed, I'm like, you either stop or you do a start. I was just like, we'll go for it.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed. When we've ridden at Darcy sometimes doing like a race simulation, like if we were just riding out there cutting laps, you'd sort of feel okay. And then you do a race simulation. As soon as you incorporate a race start in something, it's a totally different ball game. Like you just ride so much with so much more intensity and everything's sort of heightened, so you're paying more attention and stuff. And it's
that's why pretty much every time he comes over, he goes, "Are we doing racing?"
That's the thing. I love racing.
Yep.
I'm not too. I don't really like practice days that much unless
Yep.
I'm trying to test stuff. But
yeah.
I prefer racing. So like I just want to ride my bike, and if that's at a race day, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't know what it is, but like I just want to race.
But regardless of the sport we do, it's an expensive sport to do if you just want to practice.
Yeah.
So if you want to ride, unfortunately, if you don't want to race, you just got to suck it up.
Yeah.
Like sometimes Claire doesn't feel like racing if I'm not riding. She just hates it. Like, take off last. Let them go.
Yeah,
Right?
and then you just ride
And
around
if you can
anyway,
pick them up, go for it. Well, that's what Dad used to make me do. Like if I on a race day, if I went up for practice and went first, he'd pull me off and make me go at the end every time. He's like, "You're not going to learn anything at the front."
Yeah.
So now that we just mentioned like Darcy, let's go to you, Darcy. We've basically put our lifespan out.
Well, actually, just thinking on what you were saying about putting some riders, you'll watch go up to that start gate and they make sure that they're going last.
Yeah.
So those riders are under my wing, I'll say, or like if I'm on better if I'm on the gate, I'll reverse the order.
Yeah. No,
and then they go, but do you know what happens? 9 times out of 10 they come in and go, I held them off for a lap. I held them off for 2 laps.
So,
build that confidence.
Like what you just said, like rearranging kind of thing. So Dad had me do this thing when I was racing 150s. I was decent, but there was a few riders here that would beat me every now and then. I was better, but if I didn't get the start, I was no good. And I'm not naming names or anything. I'm not gonna. But it was here at club days, and I remember I'd stay away from this kid because it was me and him all the time, and I couldn't. It was either he won or I won. It was never. It was once in a close race.
Yeah.
And I remember this one time he pulled up. I went to the gates last. I was always last. And Dad used to be, if you want to be aggressive, be there first.
Yeah.
So I was there first and it pulled up, and old mate pulled up wherever he did. Dad come over and he's wheeled me next to him. I was like, righto. He was wheeled me next to him. Anyway, this bloke pulled out and got over there. I was like,
really?
Yeah. I was like,
oh shit.
I was like, yeah, righto. So what does Dad do? Pulls me out, puts him next to him again.
Christ.
I was like, righto.
Mind games at their best.
Yeah. And I went out and smoked him.
Yeah.
Like, right. So every race I waited for him to go up and just went next to him. And I was in this bloke's head before the race even started. And I won.
Yeah.
So that well, I didn't want to put that in. It's just funny. I still laugh at that. The Dad literally pulled me out, pushed me next to him, pulled me out, put me next to him.
Yeah.
And But like you doing your Kelpie and all that, Darcy, you doing tyres all that. Tell us a little bit about that. You probably already told the podcast about however many podcasts you've done, but I'm not around much anymore. So
well, there's not really. Most people probably have heard the story 160 times.
Yeah.
But we're just promoting the 19-inch stuff. Just basically to help grow the sport, in my opinion. I know I actually had someone at dinner tonight that's not into it, and we had a couple of words, but it wasn't bad. It was just like we're totally
opposite.
Yeah,
totally not accepting of it.
I definitely want to touch on that, like where the sport is and the 19s and all that. But, keep going with what you
so probably. No, I'm not going to get into peats and that. So anyway, what we're aiming to do is just giving back to the sport. We're releasing the team next year very soon. Well, I've sort of already let the cat out of the bag because I'm not very good at keeping secrets, obviously. But so it's basically just helping people grow as riders and maybe more. I'm hoping that it's a positive atmosphere and a positive team environment where they feel supported. I do come on strong, and I've learned from my coaching and becoming a coach, and that I actually need to take a step back sometimes. So I started doing that a little bit more, and the riders tend to be coming to me more when they've got an issue, which is better rather than me going, "Oh, do you know you're doing this? You're doing that." So, and it seems to be really effective. So I'm enjoying that. With the tyres are really good. We're on our second generation, and 99% of the time we get the comment they're better than the 19B rubber. So that's pretty. I'm happy with that. That was my goal, because B rubber in the 19-inch block pattern were the sort of the king, I suppose.
Yeah, for an entry level tyre.
For entry level tyre. So that's awesome. And the wheel sets that probably ties more into the American flat track side and the AF10 and everything. And they're going good too. And we're doing up spoke sets and rims, and we sell rims. So people converting other wheels that they've got lying around and make a cheaper option for
Yep.
themselves rather than buying a
definitely.
whole wheel set.
Yeah,
So,
no, I think what you're doing, on that
it's-
bit's fucking awesome.
You're going to come lace up a set of 19s and come over and play?
Don't put him under
Yeah,
pressure on the
James.
camera because he has to say yes now.
No, you
Not
got
me.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, I've got
with all due
I've
respect.
I've got 18 sets of 19s.
Yeah. I think when I seen what you were doing, I wasn't sure at first. I was a bit, I wasn't too sure what it was.
Yeah.
And then I looked into it further, and it's definitely a more affordable way to get into our sport instead of paying,
Yeah, so motocross bikes already come out with a 19 inch.
Yeah, that's
so
correct, yep.
that saves the whole going and lacing up an 18 or getting an 18 from another
Yep.
model and
Yep.
adapting it and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I honestly, and this is non-biased, as non-biased as I can be, and there's always going to be the Debbie Doubters out there that go, it's
always.
your brand, your tire.
Always.
But you can get a long way on that tire for a long time.
Yep.
And save yourself a lot of money and learn a shitload
Yeah, exactly.
without
Yeah.
going change. And this is sort of where the comments were crossing over and
Yeah.
not agreeing and stuff is, the amount of money people spend on their machines and that when they really don't have to. 'cause they're not,
most definitely.
they're not that level of rider yet.
Yeah,
you're right.
And
That's correct.
my 04, I rode that for 7 years because I said I'm not getting rid of it until I can outride it.
That's a great thing.
And I
to
was
do.
finally outriding it.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm going to be so awesome on this A17, which was Brendan's bike. No,
Yeah.
shit. I went
That
back
fuel
20
injection probably tripped you out a little bit.
Oh, there's so many things that
Yeah,
I hadn't
Extra
considered.
gear and everything.
Yeah, the extra gear. When the bikes are here today.
I did see that though in the trailer over there.
When you look at them and you sit them side by side, you start going, holy shit.
A lot of technology difference between
A lot of different
one of them
between
spun the
them.
cylinder around.
Oh yeah, the one engine's going backwards, one
Yep.
engine's going forwards.
Yeah.
You've
Yep,
got
yep.
the tank that you can grab with your knees and everything on
Yep.
the 04.
Yeah.
Not so much you grabbing more shards on the
Yeah.
A17. So it's taken me. It's like doing an apprenticeship. I've always talked to riders saying that it's like an apprenticeship. Just take your time,
Yeah,
especially new
that's-
riders.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
that's a very good way to put it. Yeah.
Young Kelsey Jensen's going great guns, but a lot of people forget she's only been really, if you just bike time, she's only probably had 6 months.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah,
so
it's not. Yeah,
It's not long at all.
That's like
And-
someone else, Ty Darkin.
He hasn't been doing it
that's
that long.
right.
He hasn't been doing it very long at all.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, he told me today, like he took me to the bottle out to get beers, and I just picked his brain a little bit because I don't know. I only met him at the Christmas party last week.
yeah.
And he's like, I've only been doing it 6 months, and I've never really had any track experience. I'm like, well, he's actually done very well. For
He's
someone.
going really well.
Yeah.
But the thing is you see those, they will go high and somewhere very soon. And I hate to say, I'm not trying to be
No,
you
no,
know,
I can already
down
see what
it.
you're saying, and it's
They
100%
will have
true.
a down that will
Yeah.
bite them in the ass.
Yeah, there's a lot of riders.
And it's just the way it goes. You got to
Yeah.
you go through your peak, then you plateau,
Yeah.
your peak,
Yeah.
then you plateau,
That's what I'm.
and that's where the mental side. I sort of
Absolutely.
you have to be. I've probably not from injury too, but I'm lucky I haven't had heaps of injuries, but definitely with the business I'm going through it now. I
Yeah.
have highs and I have
Yeah.
lows and I have highs,
Yeah.
and it pretty much I do talk to my wife about it a bit, but you're pretty much on my only supporter.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
But coming to these events when people say, "Oh, we love what you're doing," and that really does lift me up.
Yeah, no, I
yeah,
can.
yeah.
So,
I definitely think what you're doing is a very good thing.
but you're right. People, like you said, at first you weren't sure. People are skeptical, and I
Yeah.
can see that.
They
But
were.
I've been
Look,
working on this for probably. I've been working on. Well, we got our products in February, but before that, I've been working on the concept and talking to people and
Yep.
and looking. I'm a pretty simple guy. I'm not real complicated and
Yep.
not fancy words and that sort of stuff. But I'm always watching and listening, and that's what made me believe this will work,
Yep.
and this is what we need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people, and we've been around the club a long time, my family and myself.
Yep.
And we've watched people come and go, and,
Yeah.
and when you see them again, oh, why aren't you racing? Oh, we just can't afford it
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
So
that's 100% right.
Yeah, so that's one part of the link is affordability, and it's, let's be realistic, it's motorsport. Motorsport is expensive.
Yeah.
Especially now, especially
You
right
know,
now. It's
it is, oh, it always has been, but people always have done it.
Yeah.
So they love the sport, they do it. So
Yeah.
that's one aspect of it. The other aspect is it to tie it in with the rest of the world. And I keep going over this, and we're not trying to kill what's already existing here. We're just trying to create
more of it.
More like people, so small. Like someone actually commented saying, flat track, that's such a small niche. Why would you go into that? Well, exactly why, because it's a small niche. There's not heaps of people doing what I'm doing.
Community.
And it's actually a huge community once you start linking countries together. And with the technology that we've got, I'm talking to people in Sweden, and
that's
New Zealand, and the UK, and just on the internet and stuff.
Yeah.
And one day, you watch, we'll be racing next side by side together.
That's definitely
catching
how it
up,
happens.
and it's awesome when you start looking at it like that. It's actually a huge community, and there's a lot of potential for people like myself to make a living from doing what you love doing. Maybe not. For me, doing it as a rider is probably unbelievable. Unrealistic because I'm 45 now, so or 46 this year. So it doesn't mean if I couldn't commit
involved
and do it. I reckon, if I really, if someone said, it's $100,000 on the line, I reckon I could train hard enough and probably
have a crack
give it a good crack. But I'm sort of looking at more of the, how can I help other people solve their problems? Like, so keep racing, for example, and that's affordable products. The tyre killed me. We had to put it up because of just the way everything's going. And I don't, it's a fine, but I'm not a natural businessman, so I'm learning as I go. I am a natural generous person, so which Catherine tells me off because I give too much away, and should hold tight on prices and that sort of stuff. So you learn the lessons, but if I didn't put the prices up, we won't be here next year.
No, exactly.
We've got to do it, and I mean, I'm so proud of what have achieved so far.
Absolutely,
we've got the team happening. Zane got paid to ride it up, and that's I hope that doesn't put a negative pressure on riders and that, but we do talk pretty intensely about that. Like everyone that is signing and has signed, we talk about what they want, and if there's any concerns or worries, it's sort of like, don't worry about it all now, because as we come to each problem, we'll work it through. And it's written there black and white that it will be a mutual agreement. So, and if we can't agree, then we go our separate ways or whatever. And it's no hard feelings. But I don't want anyone going. So for instance, Nick Berry is going to be one of our riders. First year senior. I won't put him as a pro rider, because that puts too much pressure. I'm now getting paid to ride this event.
Absolutely.
And he's young. He's really young. I want mature decisions and people to be able to, just say, okay, I've had a chat with Darcy. He was serious. I don't have to win the race. If I can win it, it's great. But you get paid either way. That's more about
not a win bonus.
That's very cool that you kind of bringing up professionalism to the sport.
Yeah, that's what it needs.
Because I know that you Brendan, before you were president, you were trying to bring you were going to a track with these setups with the City West banners, and
I had a 6 meter one. I had to bring it down for 1 day to Vic.
Take away the hospitality. No, but it's cool to have that professionalism side of it, because there's not a professionalism side of you go to motocross, and even not the worst privateers, but the privateers that are they're struggling to make the main events. They've still got
setups are way better.
Setups are unreal. Even sitting here now with this toolbox. You don't see that in dirt track. No. And I'm not saying there needs to be more of it, but it just brings it
makes the sport look better.
Yeah, it makes it look more professional.
So what do you guys think the purpose of that is? To draw bigger sponsors. So all these, the thing is, and I think about this a lot, is if you do make it big, then new pressures arise. So it's quite a balancing act. And I sort of think a lot, and like you were saying, about racing isn't everything.
Yeah.
Because when it is, it does put a new pressure on that person.
It definitely does. Yeah.
So that's a very hard thing. And I mean, it's no different than football and all that sort of thing in the reality.
Any sport, really.
Yeah, any sport that has professional link to it.
Yeah.
So I guess
I wouldn't say flat track's missing that professionalism. Like it definitely is compared to America. Like America is just that's next level. But I think a lot of the time, a lot of people they kind of compare our program, like the way we run, to America. And the only thing I have to say to that is you got to remember America's just so much bigger in everything. Like sprint cars. I love sprint cars. Sprint cars are 10 times bigger in the States. Like they're American football. And they've got like college ball, high school, everything.
Yeah.
So I think like we're definitely a step behind, and we always are.
Yeah.
But I think like compared to when I first started riding, compared to where it is now, it's such like people have got mats under their bikes.
Yeah.
Just having a mat under your bike, especially if you've got a matrix mat, it just looks bitching.
Yeah.
So like having like the table, having a toolbox on your table, it makes things look neat, professional.
Yeah.
And it's even the littlest things. It's like instead of leaving your tire laying on the ground, you put it against your table, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It just brings that professionalism to the sport. And I think if you have a good setup with batters and all that, and you have a sponsor that comes out to watch you, they say, "Oh, he's really plugging me well here."
Yeah. It's going to help get more.
It's
going to
help you get more. It's definitely a professionalism thing that it's getting better. It's getting better, especially the top riders. They do have a nice setup.
Yeah.
So
I think,
especially the MTR guys with you, they're doing a really good job of.
I think the more people that do something, the more people that will follow suit.
And the only reason I think, like, if people judge the people like they laugh at them, it's because it's new, it's different.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's new and it's different.
I've definitely copped a lot of that in the last couple of years. And now those people that were laughing are actually coming up and putting stickers on their bikes and sort of getting involved. And I
like that AFTM, whoever, I don't know who's in charge of that, but hats off to you, because that was an so I was actually I can't remember if I was talking to you about this, but I remember you were asking, I think it was on like Brendan's first podcast, you asked like, where do you see dirt track going? And at that time, that was before the AFTM, and I would have happily answered, it's not going to get any better than what it is. And after seeing that event run, I was like, holy, like
he did everything I've dreamt of doing.
He did it all
and
correctly.
He did it consistently and really.
And in the time frame that he did it,
they're still going on that. Like he's still
they're constantly posting. It's fresh. Yeah. It's fresh all the time. Yeah. They're doing really well. So the only thing I think they're going to struggle with that is, and I think we spoke about this today. We spoke about so much shit today, all week even, is to have that set up in the 19s. A lot of tracks are going to have to change their track layout.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. I've honestly never ridden on American flat track.
No, me either. But just from what I could see from photos and the way the track was at Appen.
Yeah, it's funny because this is sort of where we went it, didn't it?
Yeah, I knew it's where you went it did. As soon as you said, I was like, that's where it went.
It honestly looks like, from pictures of Appen, it looks like that track would have been better if it was prepped like this, because it wouldn't have become so one line. That's the problem with Blue Groove.
Well, that's the interesting thing. Did they have to let it go like that? In my opinion, no.
Probably not.
They
no,
did,
you're right.
which is fine.
Yeah.
That's fine, because it is sort of what happens in America.
That's
but
what
like
I was about to say.
We're not America.
No, we're not America.
And actually, if you listen to Corey Texter's the remaining American flat track podcast, he quite often calls for more loose tracks.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Because of that. He's a big advocate for spectators. As I am, and Brendan is, and
100%. It's a shame that there wasn't a lot of spectators here today.
Following each other around in one line.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, exactly right.
No, I think you can get away with it 1 or 2 rounds if it's a longer series.
But if the whole series is like that, then
I think it will
absolutely.
It will, it's funny, we were talking with your dad last night, Shane, and he was saying about Motard, that looked like it was going to kick off, and then
yeah.
Why was it? Because there wasn't good spectator access.
Yeah.
Because those tracks tend to be quite big, or on go-kart tracks, and then
Or in the
maybe,
middle of a road race
you know,
track.
maybe,
Yeah.
maybe go-kart tracks. I don't know what they did to the racing. Maybe it was hard to pass, so it didn't become exciting. Or, you know, there's all these
It's a
little
real reason,
factors.
Yeah. What we were.
And there's no discredit to AFTN,
Yeah.
No.
because it was the first. It was a tester.
Yeah,
It was
teaser,
unbelievable.
and it was
Full credit.
unbelievably.
Yeah.
I love that they had all the banners around the track, and it just looked fantastic.
They just did what dirt track needed. So
Yeah.
as we'll just say, like with the tracks there, you've never rode on 19s.
No.
I've never rode on. You probably have with your setup. Your
Yeah,
shop
quite
and
a
all
bit.
that. The only thing I'm unsure of, and I'm not saying it's not going to happen, because it'd be awesome to see it happen, especially if it went from the bottom of Australia to the top, to the east, to the west. It'd be unreal. I don't know how those tires work in that sort of loose material like today. How would the tires have gone today? Fine, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
In my opinion,
In your opinion, yeah.
But what I think the thing is, it's going to be, as we're saying, you know, as riders, you can get in your head. So there's going to be a fair bit of
Touch and go.
Well, some guys, and it sort of proved to me, because I'm still, when it's just me riding, I figure it out and I go, yeah, I can do this. And I can, you know, I feel comfortable. I can tip it in halfway down the straight and go through the corner.
Yeah.
What I didn't realise is that a better rider than me might not be able to do that on that setup.
Yeah.
A better rider than me on a 2118 hops on there and goes, holy fuck, what do I do with this?
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't realise that until last weekend. I was probably a bit naive. I just sort of thought, because when I put the 19s on the 04, that's when I started testing out the whole block pattern, can it work on the front and that. It really didn't change the bike to me, apart from making the front a little bit heavier.
Yeah. Right.
On the 017, it took a little bit of adjusting, which I didn't expect.
Yeah.
So learning all the time. I was learning all the time then, and I still am now. Like I sort of just put good rider, you'll be good on everything.
Yeah.
But that's not quite the
That's
way.
not at all. No, not at all.
Which is really interesting.
Not at all.
I think. Yeah, these guys, some of these guys, well, you know, some of them been riding since 6.
Yeah.
On motocross standard wheels, and then on to 2118 or 2119, usually 2118, because they're already quick as and they want the best tyre, which is the Mitchie. So, they'll go on to that. And then, I suppose it is different. They, if you ever look at them, get the chance to look at them, the American tyres, they really come off the rim like a mushroom off the rim, is where the block pattern tyres are pretty straight up and down.
Yep.
So the lean angle's all different, and that's why they're quite versatile for hard tracks like oil, and you could go on a road circuit if you wanted, and, you know, burn your tyres and that sort of stuff. But I think it's just experimenting. I was really impressed with Zane when he came out to my place, because Zane can be a pretty hot and wild rider sometimes. And I was sort of thinking, shit, you know, it's nervous for me, because I don't want anyone getting hurt on any of my products. And you know, but he went out and he really did just tiptoe. Got faster and faster, and was moving it around and actually feeling them out. And he did well. He got top 10 on the Saturday, and 12, I think it was, on the Sunday. And hats off to him, because he adapted really well, and
that's good.
And changed it up, as we're last weekend we had Harrison, who was delivering the beers earlier. He jumped on him and absolutely loved them straight off the bat. His brother had a go. He was on a 450, not a 250, which he's not used to riding, and he wasn't too sure.
Harrison had great things to say. He just said it's just different.
And then I'm not going to say the name of the rider, but he just went, I don't know what to do. He was the one I expected to just be fanging, you know, and really good all-rounder slider and MX bike rider. But we didn't get the chance, because I had to go, unfortunately, for my mum's birthday dinner, but we didn't get the chance to give him another go. He was still keen to keep trying and working it out, but he's just, Yeah, I think he was as shocked as I was.
No, it's,
But yeah, it's an interesting thing, and the thing that probably really grates me is when people haven't been on them and they say they won't work.
Yeah.
You just got to try them, and the only thing I would say is you don't ride them on a really, really wet track.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to go flat knackers and keep those things clearing. Because once they fill up, that's a scary business.
I think what you just said, like, don't, kind of judge a book by its cover. I think that's just a thing that, like what I said, like you just proved me wrong by saying, you rode them on a loose surface track and they work. I think that's a thing where we watch American flat track and it's blue groove, it's one line, it's slipstream passing. So everyone's like based it to that, and they haven't said, let's just have a crack.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, if
funny,
people just give it a crack, it might work. If it
funny.
doesn't suit people, it doesn't suit you. But
yeah,
that's the way the sport's going. They have to go.
Too, the other thing is, if you're going, so this is what a lot of people don't get aren't getting their head around. And this is where the AFTN has gone the right way about it, and even happened with their 19-inch class. Like I still, when they first said I couldn't run my blocks, I'm sort of like, well, that sucks. No, it's 19 inches. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
When everyone is on that, it's not a controlled tire because you can use other brands.
Yep.
But it is the same pattern. Basically the same pattern,
same style,
and same with the Hosier or however you like to say it. They're all, as far as my knowledge, they're all 8mm tread, so the same depth.
The only thing I like about the Hosier tire is that it's got the Gangster logo on it.
Yeah, so you can't say he's got an extra 4mm tread. So it's a more even playing field, but for some reason they're going, well, they're not going to beat an 1821. And
see, that's a
maybe someone that's ridden them for a long time and knows how to ride them on a cushion track that can. Would I be that guy? Probably not. I know I can beat some people. But can I beat an A grader? Well, I wouldn't beat them on 2118. So it's such a tricky argument.
Yeah, what you just said there, like the 1919 versus 2118. A few years ago, Kings and Queens, I think it was at Canberra, track went, American style, slick, blue, and they got to the final, and I think it was Billy Van Erd was a junior, and he's the only one in the final, and they switched to 19s. And smoked them. And then I think it might have been Max Crocker.
Lofty's got a story about someone, Dave Herrick or someone. I think it might be Blake Herrick's dad.
Yeah,
did the same thing at Canberra.
He's a champion of a rider. Yeah, and I think it was Max Croker that did it. They were part of like Cazo's Husqvarna development thing. And they went out and they smoked it. All these 2118s. I don't know if that was, and they were running. I think they were running those Maxxis style tires. I don't know if that's because the track suited them tires better than the 2118, whatever it was, but it worked. So
they can beat them in the
I think that should have been a big an eye opener to people like, maybe we should just run these on when the track goes on this, or just try it, see how it works.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's funny though, but exactly what you said then when it goes like this, that the passionates will go, but it won't work on the loose track. They just look at the negative, just find it.
And I think that comes back to people look at the American tracks and it's not blue.
But you say but if you're on the American style track tires, and we're on the American style tires, they will all work. They will work, and we'll be more even because we're on the same tire.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's I won't deny that, and even Jared Brooks said when we talked to him a bit about it, and I'm pretty sure Tom Drain might have mentioned it too, that the trials block pattern is better in the deep shit.
Right.
It's a bit faster. Faster.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So it's I don't think it's an argument about
which is faster.
What actually works. It's more an argument about what's faster.
Yeah. So definitely.
The trials it's faster, but if we're all on the same tire, American
doesn't
tire,
matter.
then it doesn't matter. It's
Yeah.
the better rider on the day.
That's exactly
And
right.
it's the same when we're all on 21 18s, but we're not. Some are on 21 19s,
Yeah.
some are on 21 18s.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
No,
I don't know.
I
It's
think-
tricky.
I
It's
think-
a tricky subject.
I think the sports as I said, I didn't think the sport's going to go any further till AFTN, and I think it's got a big future of and the fact that he had Motorcycle Australia on board for that sort of event straight away
Yeah.
is really going to help it grow better.
Yeah.
And I'm obviously I won't have much part of it because just not that interested in dirt track, to be honest with you. But I think it's just great to see something new and something that people were. It was good to see people went like fast riders.
But, you know, I hope if they come up your way, you'll go and watch them. You know,
absolutely.
Yeah, so
I would like if I had money and I could go fly down to watch it, I would have went to watch it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because I love watching racing and I love mechanicking for riders during meetings too.
It's sort of interesting. Brendan said to me a while back, someone was it someone made a comment to you about why isn't dirt track bigger, or you know, why isn't someone growing dirt track, or like with the AFTN, you know, how they really have propped it up and made it look really professional.
Yeah.
I can't remember if someone said it to you, or maybe it was just your own thought.
Yeah.
But that's where the linking in with the rest of the world comes in to me.
Yeah.
It's, you can promote the shit out of it, and it's still dirt track. It's still flat track. So in
dirt track,
America,
flat
they
track,
used to
it's the same
bill it
thing.
dirt track, but because cars they call dirt track, they apparently changed it to flat track.
Yeah.
So, to differentiate. So you could, as a promoter, you could throw say millions of dollars into it, make it huge here. But who are you going to attract and like with other top riders? Because I mean, with motocross and supercross and everything, it all becomes that one big global family.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the sport so great, because fans in Australia like the World Supercross. And funny the way they marketed it, they didn't really tell you that the world guys were on the Saturday and the you know, why is it? That's because everyone wants to see the best in the world.
Yeah.
So I think with the 2118, if you've got a guy like, say, Jared Meads, say he was riding 450s, which he rides the twins, you'd be going, why am I going to go and race that? I've got no experience on that.
Yeah, well, that was
You
like,
know, why am I going to go do that? I want
what
to
you
be on
said.
the same setup so I can go over and be at my best.
Yeah.
You know,
what you said, like the Americans. I remember when Troy Bayless did his Toronto's Classic, and he got a lot of riders to come over.
Yeah, you did.
And I remember watching a video of Sammy Masters, not Sammy Masters, Sammy Helmet, I think that's his name, isn't it?
Yeah.
He rode around Barley Ranch, and he did exactly what they do on 19s on a 2118 setup.
Yeah, right.
It was a bit shaky, but he come in and just tilted it. You've probably seen the video, tipped it, and he's just two wheels.
Stand corrected.
He did it. But like, I don't think it was fast,
Yeah.
but he proved that it can be done. That's all I really want to say to that. But exactly what you said. Why would Jared Mees or even like Max Whale at the moment? Why they're racing on that setup? Why would they come over here and jeopardize losing on another setup? Just jump on. I'll just come from 19s. I know how they work. I know how to set the bike up for it.
Yeah, I just think it ties us in with everyone else, and just
It'd be interesting to see what happens next year. Should be good.
I think it'll be big.
Yeah.
I really hope it's big because the sport needs that.
Me too.
Yeah, we're definitely getting lots of questions, like from the business side of things.
No, it's good.
Yeah, lots of people asking about.
I'm very interested
wheel
to
sets
see
and-
what where he goes with, like what tracks he goes to.
Yeah.
I like not for the sale of the loose or the hard. I just want to see like where it goes.
Yeah.
If it stays in that New South Wales area, or if it branches out to Brisbane, down to Victoria.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of dirt tracks compared to Brisbane, New South Wales.
Yeah.
It'd just be cool to see something different,
Yeah. No. So.
and hopefully it brings a lot more people in. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but like motocross riders, they hate dirt track.
Yeah. I don't know what.
I don't get it. I really don't get it.
I think. Yeah. I don't know. It just doesn't sound appealing, but you just got to convince them to try it, and they'll like it.
Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, they'll try it. They still don't like it, but it's because they got smoked.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
relax, man. They're not going to pick it up in a day.
Yeah. They think it's easy.
Yeah,
but
you got the whole shot. That's hard bit. Like, just work the rest of it out.
Yeah. It's only a flat turn, mate. What are you doing?
Yeah. No, but it's
No, it'd be good.
unfortunately that's just what it's. I don't know why.
It's the mentality.
It's just got that name to it. No one likes it before trying it. And it is like I said before. I don't enjoy dirt tracks. Not that I don't enjoy it. It's just I don't even. I guess I've done it for a long time. I'm just not interested in it that much anymore.
Yeah.
Still love riding my bike. Like it comes down to love riding my bike.
Yeah.
But But hopefully it goes. I
think it'll be. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be big.
Yeah, it needs to be. Well, like the first one went so well.
Yeah.
And as I said, I'm very interested to see where it goes. And
well, definitely got a lot of people excited. As did the podcast. I started it not long before them, sort of thing, around just before Forbes. I think it was the Australian titles, which was Dirt Track Tittles.
Yeah,
but got a lot of people excited, and I've heard lots of rumours about people pushing it at their clubs and saying, "Let's have a 19-inch class to support it," and that sort of stuff. So cool. That's pretty cool. And this dinner tonight, I had someone basically say, if 19 took over, we're done. And that's
why.
Each their own, I suppose.
Look, it definitely is, but I really hope that it doesn't come to that, because I've said many times on this podcast that we're not. Australian dirt track is the history of that racing here, and we don't want to. I'm pretty sure
if you look at photos from way back, like when
in the 80s, it's 1990s.
Yeah, well, I don't even know, but I'm pretty sure 90% of them running like that 1919 setup.
Yeah, so the story I got behind that was that there was a certain tyre that everyone used, and I can't remember if it was Evelyn or Arrow or something. I can't remember what it was, but something like that, and they stopped producing it.
Yeah, right. Okay, and that's when the trials kind of come.
That's right.
Yeah,
so,
I guess that's like what you just said. Because I guess the trials have been around for so long that people. I don't know if they're afraid to just why change something that's not broken. But you got to be open to change.
Yeah, exactly right.
Otherwise,
grow otherwise. So.
No, you can't just get stuck in this loop. Like everyone complains, "Oh, dirt track's not big enough." No one wants to change to make it bigger.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Oh,
all right, guys. Well,
sounds good.
Got a big day tomorrow, so we should probably wrap this one up.
I definitely don't.
I
don't have a bike. No, thanks for having me.
Well, you can come over and help commentate. It's pretty lonely and hot and dusty over there.
So, at least you're not a bad spot. Like you don't get any dust. Like you don't get roost straight at you, kind of thing.
No, we got some pretty good front row seats to the action.
Yeah.
That worked
destroy
out well.
my bike.
People decide to run each other over.
People crashed in front of me.
Just have a picnic in front of me, mate.
Yeah.
No, that shit happens. That's racing.
That's right.
Like McHoward said earlier, we'll sign that waiver saying that we know it's dangerous and we can be damaged. And
if you don't like it, you're more than welcome.
But I'm doing it again. We were signing off, but anyway, I was thinking earlier when you were saying about what is it? I think obviously we're racers because we love to compete and challenge and fight with others, not fist, obviously, but fight. But it's also a huge adrenaline rush.
I've just like you said that you love competing and I just love riding my bike at the end of the day. Like that challenge, that competitiveness that doesn't really it take like obviously today it did with me a little bit when I couldn't get the bike set up. I was getting fired up, but at the end of the day, I just love riding my bike, whether I win or lose. Yeah, I'm just happy on the bike.
Yeah, well, I definitely get a lot more enjoyment from banging bars and being within inches of each other.
Yeah, I like that too.
That just that gets and that's where I say it's a huge adrenaline rush.
Yeah,
when you're bar to bar,
like when you're close, it's
when you do that friendly. Push out.
I remember I had I had my first Pro 250 senior race here, and it was me and Jesse, and we went in the first quarter, and it was just like either I shut off or he shut off, and we just didn't shut off until like mid corner, and it was pretty wild.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. So hopefully we haven't been talking for ages for nothing.
Oh no,
no, it's still recording, so it's all good.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, thanks heaps.
Thanks for
taking your time out tonight.
No, I was happy to come on. and share with
Looks like everyone's gone to bed.
Yeah.
I'm a bit jealous of him, to be honest.
Yeah, finish off. But
Knackered.
I'll definitely finish off with, if you got problems, mental health thing, don't be
Yeah.
afraid to open up. Anyone's just got to send a message and say, hey, look, you want to catch up for a beer or something?
Yeah.
And,
All it takes.
if the people that don't want to do it, they're the ones that, they're not your real friends. The
No,
people that
exactly
answer
right.
and say, yeah, mate, and they assist you, they're the ones who will look after you forever. So,
Mhm.
no, definitely, don't be afraid to speak up and talk to people. 100%.
100%.
And I think that's it. Peace out. I'm going to have more beers.
Yeah.
So there we go, guys. Part 2 of the James Davies interview. Really enjoyed chatting to those guys at the event after Saturday's racing. Awesome racing. The 2 at the titles. Can't go on enough about it, or can't stop going on about it, obviously. But some interesting subject matter there, I thought. James makes some good points. Enjoy your racing. You shouldn't be getting depressed over it. If you are, take a step back, talk to someone, reach out to us if you don't have somebody close to hand, and let's get your joy back into your riding. It should be joyful. Shouldn't be putting that much pressure on yourself that you don't like it anymore. And obviously all sorts of things can happen when you're trying too hard or you're taking it too serious, and injuries can occur, and you're putting mental pressure on yourself, psychological pressure on yourself. So I think it is an important message. As I said in part 1, I sort of like to peel that onion back a little bit, and I'm sure Motorcycling Australia's probably got a sports psychiatrist somewhere tucked away that we could chat to, that could really delve into that, because I'm obviously across all motorcycle disciplines, especially when you get into a pro level where there's money involved. I'm sure this would be an issue, a huge issue actually, and just as if a pro footballer or something, they might turn to drugs to relieve some of that pressure, or so it is something that needs to be talked about. We definitely don't want to sweep that under the carpet. So if you are suffering, talk to someone. There's lots of helplines too. But I think if you can talk to a fellow racer, that's probably, especially if racing's causing it, it's definitely the go-to. As I said, if you don't have someone close that you feel you can reach out to, just give me a bell. I'm happy to be a set of ears. Can even go for a bush ride, or change it up a bit. Hopefully, bring your passion back, and if we can't, like James said, racing's not everything. There's a whole world out there of all sorts of stuff. We obviously love racing and love promoting it and talking about it, and that's why you're here. But if that changes for you, don't beat yourself up. We want everyone to be happy humans. So so I hope you enjoyed. There's a lot of things we talked about: tyres and wheels, and track surfaces, and all that sort of stuff, and competition, new AFTN, and professionalism. So I hope you take something for that. To be honest, I don't know where we'll be going next, who we're talking to. I sort of got a couple ideas, but we'll have a look. As I've mentioned a couple of times, we've come up with a team for next year, which is 3 development riders and 2 pro riders. So we might do a pod and talk about that a little bit deeper, pull that apart a bit, and I'm really happy and excited and scared all at the same time, because now I've got to fund it somehow, and all the sort of stuff, all the ins and outs, and but I'm really happy about it, and looking forward to the adventure, because that's what it is. That's what racing can be, and I just find it really exciting, and some different roles for me, with commentating, and I do feel that I've still got a bit of time left on the seat. I do also, I can sort of relate to what those guys are talking about too, and especially with injury and that, and I see it with my family and my wife, and my own relationship with my wife. She's always supportive. She loves me, and is an awesome woman. But I can see every time I get injured, it does have an effect on her. Like I said, she's cool and not so much. It doesn't really hurt our relationship, but maybe it is. Maybe I'm being blind to that and need to be respectful to her and show her that her opinion does matter. And that's sort of what I'm doing next year. I won't be on the seat as much, but I've got that mental battle going on in my head that I still want to race, but I do have to think of the bigger picture. So I can relate to those guys. It's not easy sometimes in your head. You don't, especially when you're passionate about something, but there's other ways to channel that passion, and Kelpie's a big part of that for me, and maybe I can inspire you to branch out and take some risk and do something a little bit different. That maybe your time is coming to an end on the racing seat, and you can still ride as a hobby and as fun, and do some other things to itch that racing bug, but still be involved with racing. So I hope Kelpie inspires some of you out there to try something a little bit different like that and look at things outside of the box maybe. I hope I'm on track there, James, with the message you guys are trying to get across, and I hope you all enjoyed that podcast, and I look forward to doing the next one. And just keep your ear to the ground. I'm sure it won't be that far away. There's definitely lots of people reach out to me that want to have a chat and talk, so it won't be hard to tee one up. I'm just coming near Christmas here, and everyone's getting that Christmas chaos happening, and I never buy my presents until right at the end, so there'll probably be a bit mad dash to the shops. I just hate the shopping side of it, but it is what it is. We do it every year, so nothing's going to change there. But can't wait to be back on the bike tomorrow. I've just got my confirmation for my specialist appointment, so collarbone's feeling really good. Got asked that a lot over the weekend, and I think I'll be back on the bike pretty soon. As I just said before, the racing side might be a little bit cooler for me next year, but I'll still definitely be around. You'll see me on some ride days and that for sure. Just enjoying what we do, and I think we'll spend a bit more time on the American tyres next year, and see how it all tracks, and you'll be the first to know if you're tuning in. So thanks so much. Share it with your friends. Let them know about us. Keep it sideways. Go Flat Tracker.
Go Flat Tracker, go, go, go.